What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. It has been too freaking long. TCGPLAYER has bonus bucks back, 8%, and this is awesome. On the day of Phantom Rage's release, it's a 24-hour flash sale, so whenever shopping TCGPLAYER, of course using that link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying whenever you use my TCGPLAYER link. It does help the channel. You get 8% bonus bucks back and credit later on TCGPLAYER, and a lot of the competition has been awesome. I hear these mixed reactions. The sellers are just gonna up their prices because of this. No, the sellers aren't that greedy, believe it or not. They're smart. They want to take advantage of the sale because this comes out of TCGPLAYER's pocket. It doesn't come out of the seller's pocket in any way, shape, or form. TCGPLAYER is basically giving up the fees they would usually have and giving credit to people in order to incentivize sales. This is TCGPLAYER being awesome to its sellers, being awesome to its customers, and basically cutting themselves out for the day as the middleman and helping everybody. So sellers don't have this, yeah, I'm gonna up the prices because the customer spends less. That's not what happens, and time and time again, I've shown that's not what happens, but let's look directly what's happening with day one of Phantom Rage. Everything seems to be going down for now. The Starlight rares unprecedentedly have fallen. Maybe this market's not as strong as we once thought, but even Arsenal Zeus is down towards 360. I do think this is a $400 to $500 card solid, so it's really interesting to see early on how cheap top-rated sellers are willing to go under just to make their sale today, and it's very few of them before it's back to 400 and then 450. So you can see directly here those sellers that want to be rewarded, that want to get consumers their bonus bucks backs, and also want to make sales. Heat of Fire is under 350. I think her low would be 300 if even, but I think there is going to be a scramble for her from all the people who have gotten their Charmer Starlight rares in the past. She's the final one. Other people are going to finally pick up the other pieces that were on the fence. Maybe they have two of them or decide to sell theirs. Alpha, Master of Beasts down to 300 for lowest, and then you have the Tri-Brigade link to here almost towards 200, and Torrent Scale around the 250 mark. We get into the set, Zeus is all the way down to 55 solid, and Alpha is down towards 50. Again, so many sellers lining up right here. They don't want to take less, but they're undercutting by pennies. They're not upping the prices because there's some kind of sale. I really don't get that mentality. Like, I think what it is people who are waiting for a card, they saw prices, and then that card sells out because the early bird gets the worm. That's the only logic I can see to this repeated mindset of, oh, sellers are gonna up their prices because TCGPLAYER has a sell. Maybe you saw a price and then it sold out because somebody was on it sooner than you. Alpha towards 50, Torn Scale, wow, Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily was pretty spot on. They had theirs at 22, but you could also use code What's Good 5 to get a deal. It's falling down here, and wow, the Tri-Brigade stuff has really bottomed out. This is crazy. This is kind of unprecedented for a talked about archetype in this realm to end up in this placement. That's wild. Oh my gosh. And the rest of the set, oh so cheap today. We see Lulu trying to hang around $5, but more people willing to list. Competition's going to ramp up and people are going to make their sales. Yesterday there was only like 17 sellers on this. People really don't want to let go of the virtual world early. I think a lot of people do see it as the sleeper, as I do within the set, especially with future ban lists, but people gotta pay that overhead. People are cracking these cases. You can only make so many holds if you're a shop, and other people are gonna make that bread. So tons of great prices from Phantom Rage over here on TCGPLAYER. I was checking Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily and Tier 0. They still have deals that do beat some of these prices, but with bonus bucks back, you have a huge incentive to be shopping over here today. Yeah, I have another thing pulled up for bonus bucks back. Enough of that, though. Let's talk about some weird buyouts. Evil Dragon Anata only has one printing out of premium pack, has always had kind of a high ceiling in my mind in terms of gameplay if Reptiles ever got good, kid. And when we read it, this card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card can be special summoned, cannot be special summoned, except by removing all reptile monsters from your side of the field and graveyard. So essentially you have one reptile in your graveyard, this gets summoned. This card's attack and defense are equal to the number of reptile monsters. I believe this is a level 8 or 9 if we count 2, 4, 6, 8 exact. So it's a level 8 with one of the easiest summoning conditions of just putting something in your graveyard. You could make that from the extra deck even, but you have to be careful. Every single near mint copy is gone. This isn't Snake Rain 2.0. I feel like somebody read this card and got big brain player format vibes with it, mayhaps. One printing, great summoning, level 8, future potential. That's what it feels like they're going for. And I don't know necessarily that that's using player brain is always good for buyouts, because where's the sales rates on this? Once you get all your copies in, who's buying? The market price was around $3. The listed medium. What is your customer base for this card? I really want to know, and let me know. You slept on this forever, you didn't know it existed, all of a sudden you're like, Poggers, that's a pretty good reptile card. What do you guys think of this one? It's a really odd buyout for the timing. Zodiac is the next Zodiac. A lot of people are talking about how they're going to be playing it. I'm personally going to be testing it tonight on live stream. I really like how the deck functions and runs with Zeus as an option, and being able to run a ton of hand traps. It's really going to find its way into the rogue category immediately. Chalk was on that spoiler for Gold series. We haven't seen it pop up yet, but she has been bought out to pretty big proportions. Thoroughblade as well has been bought out, and you see more listings coming back here for him, but you want to play multiple. Hollowed out Ram is up in price, but what's really shocking is there's a common Ram buyout. I think this is a terrible buyout. You have another common. I know Mega Pack stuff isn't easy to put its quantities back, but you're only going to get people mis-searching Ram that are going to buy this over a first edition original common, but people have really targeted this. It may behoove you, if you like this deck at all, to buy common Ram sooner than later. I didn't think I'd be saying that, but for under a quarter and shopping other sellers 50 cents, it's not bulk anymore. I guess you should probably consider having this card, as it's very essential to Zodiac combos and going off past just Stack Trident past Team Samurai X1. Sky Striker Mobilize Engage First Edition is above $15. This is something I said would be a pretty good grab over time at $7 to $8 in the past. The first edition's lowest, yeah, they're around 16. The unlimbs are way cheaper. You can see them line up under this price for pages and pages from Dark Saviors. Did I say Duel Saga? I'm in a couple different places today. I've got to sort my thoughts out. But from Dark Saviors, you see this card that is towards $16 for its first ed original, and I think that people do find that Eternal format really something that they like. It's the best Yu-Gi-Oh! We've played in a while. I wish it would come back, but they were groaning about how long it was during it. It's got its fans. It's got people who don't care for it, but Orca, Sky Striker, you see Thunder Dragon, the hollowed out pieces, and Salmon Great. People do like that square of a format, and you see money actually being thrown into it, and it's also a good rogue deck right now, so I don't blame the people who necessarily put their money towards this, and it looks has decent sales rates for that first edition stamp versus the Unlim. Dark Legends is an interesting talking point. A lot of people don't know what this set is. It's kind of the American attempt at retro pack, and when we look through this, there's some big buyouts happening on it now. I showed this in the past. I said people kind of stay away, it seems, and that it seems underestimated. And wow, the entire set has been kind of targeted in the top heavy since. You can see there's way less listings of everything else now. Once you start going down, though, yeah, there's more. I've always liked Ultra Gel and Duo also. I mean, the secret rare is just highest rarity, but Ultra Gel and Duo is kind of a fun version of the card that gave a reprint at the time that, you know, this boomer is just giving history at this point. But when we're looking at Dark Legends in general, I do think it's been underestimated for a very long time. It's a ton of iconic cards, but they're mostly in worse rarities than their counterparts bring. That's the problem with this. It's not equal. It's not held in this regard. It's kind of mostly worst rarity, except for Dark Bribe, which is the top card of the set. That being ultra rare was a big deal back in the day. So what do you guys think of collector sets like this, like Dark Legend, Retro Pack? Do you feel like they're they're overinflated? Or do you think Dark Legends was underappreciated till now? I feel like, again, all the rarities, for the most part, are worse. I don't mind the Super Sangan here or there, but now it has an Ultra Turbo Pack. It just feels like all the alternative cards in here, they're not what you want for a collectible, but it does feel like it was kind of looked over for the longest of time. Again, use those bonus bucks back. Phantom Rage definitely looking way cheaper and affordable today. And with that incentive, instead of waiting through the weekend, you have this hedged bet that if anything would be spiking through the weekend, now is definitely the time to buy. I would not be waiting necessarily if you think that a card that has high potential to go up, and I would be going ahead and securing your playset or copies today, and we'll see how the set continues to fall out, because right now it's falling out to ridiculous proportions thanks to motivated sellers, and I don't know how long that will continue for. But Phantom Rage, this is weird. This is definitely, I didn't envy anybody having to price this out, period. And I'm not envying people having to sell this right now into these prices, because it really does feel undervalued for certain things.